Hello guys, my name's Wendy. I live in Pennsylvania in the same area that Pat Toomey represents, and I had to respond to a recent ad that is being done by womenvotes.org, I believe, that is blasting him for supposedly wanting to shut down the government over defunding Planned Parenthood. And I wanted to, this woman that was speaking on their behalf was saying some things that were really not only off the wall, but outright lies, and I had to straighten this out. I'm doing this of my own volition. Pat Toomey or nobody from his camp came to me on this. I just felt people needed to know the truth. Here goes. I have something here from the Human Life Alliance. It's called Planned Parenthood Exposed. And it basically states it's all the truth behind Planned Parenthood. They claim that they're, a medical organization, the whole 9 yards. I've got a link for this so you guys can read this. They want to make themselves look all nice and pretty, but no. They're the #1 provider of abortions in this nation. They claim that they help prevent, they prevent all these different things, that they provide medical care. Yeah, right. And this article gives a very in-depth thing. I'm going to just touch on some things. They say that they're America's most trusted provider of reproductive health care. This thing provides some very alarming facts before you even consider going there. They provide, as I said, that they provide them, they call themselves this, and they brag about all this stuff, but guess what, that in particular they reduce the spread of sexually transmitted diseases. They've known for over 20 years, though, scientists, that the birth control pill and any other similar products, they actually increase the spread of it. Duh. So what do they really do? What do they really do? Well, very few of its 749 clinics actually provide any primary care, medical care. They claim that of its 3 million customers, only 35,000 in particular in 2010. That's about 1.2%, get actual family practice services, primary medical care. They talk about their caring physicians, yet unless a woman is getting an abortion, most never see a physician. And I know this personally. Early on in my marriage and in my engagement to my now husband, I went to Planned Parenthood a couple of times to get a physical. And guess what? I never saw a doctor. As this says, you typically only see a clinician or a nurse, and that's just what I saw. And I never got any prescriptions for medication. If anybody does in most states, they're written in the local Planned Parenthood's medical director, which the woman never ever sees in person. They don't like to talk about their abortion business, but it does run the nation's largest one. They commit over 300,000 murders a year, and I'm going to call it murders. I think abortion's way too clinical. There's some facts about Planned Parenthood abortion and money that you guys need to know. They're the nation's largest abortion seller, as I said. Almost 1 in 3 abortions are committed at their facilities. 1 in 10 Planned Parenthood clients have had abortions. In fact, the number of Planned Parenthood abortions has risen nearly 30% since 2002. And this is during a period of time when the number of abortions nationally has dropped. And just in 2013 alone, a pregnant woman going to Planned Parenthood was more than 15 times more likely to abort than receive an adoption referral or prenatal care. That's scary. And for every adoption referral that was made, guess what? Planned Parenthood performed 174 abortions. And while the number of abortions performed increased, their adoption referrals, Planned Parenthood's adoption referrals, fell more than 14%. And one of their arguments for retaining taxpayer dollars is that losing federal funding will cause low-income women to go without needed health care. Well, as I said before, if you go back, they don't provide needed health care. Unless a woman, again, unless a woman is getting an abortion, they never see an actual doctor. They see a clinician or a nurse, and I'm not knocking nurses here. But as I said, when I went, that's all I saw, and the care and the treatment I got was lousy. It's like almost like a conveyor. They want you in and out, and guess what? They try to push their whole agenda on you of reckless sex, exploring your sexuality, and a lot more. When I asked for birth control, to go on birth control, they never gave it to me. I had had enough of it, and I went to a real doctor. As I said, their argument is that, this will happen, that low-income women will go without needed health care. Okay, how about the fact that, as I said again, there happened to be some really good free clinics. I went to one for about a year. They were really awesome to my husband and I. But our tax dollars, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, they fund more than 1,200 health center organizations that have more than 8,000 locations in all 50 states. Like the free clinic that I went to, and my husband went to. My husband had a prostate situation. He had to get a procedure in that area. He went to a hospital here that provides free help in that area. Now, these federally funded qualified health centers, they serve more than 23 million patients. They provide comprehensive health care, including primary medical care, lab tests, x-rays, dental, and mental health services. Far, far, far beyond the range of services that are offered at Planned Parenthood. And also, in addition to offering a broad range of general care, these centers offer prenatal care, screening for breast and cervical cancer, voluntary family planning services, much like Planned Parenthood, and these health centers outnumber Planned Parenthood clinics by 11 to 1. Okay? Now I want to clue you in, too, on something. This woman says in this that she's outraged by the fact that Pat Toomey wanted to defund Planned Parenthood, supposedly depriving women of being able to get breast cancer screenings. I want to tell you what Planned Parenthood does not do. They claim they screen for cervical cancer, which is the major risk factor for HPV, the human papillomavirus. No. They encourage young people to explore their sexuality. They're the cause of the problem, not the solution. They're not a health organization. They're in the sex business. They make their money from young people who they lure into sexual lifestyles with all the trauma and pain and the diseases that it brings. Just so you know, there was an undercover investigation. If you want to know more about it, I have the link here. They exposed the Los Angeles Planned Parenthood staff member of counseling to cover up the statutory rape of a young abuse victim. That's scary. Very scary. And there's also further investigation through things like the Mona Lisa Project and the Rosa Acuna Project, that they show they'll do anything, they'll go to any lengths to cover up, to show how far they will go to sell their business of abortion. They say they offer women a variety of options. No, they don't. No, they don't. As I said, read this whole article. You'll see what I'm saying. And there's something else that's very interesting here. As I said, this woman says this about mammograms. Planned Parenthood does not offer any of that. An investigation that was done, and the Department of Health and Human Services can confirm this, they don't offer any of these life-saving services. As I said, the Department of Health and Human Services confirmed in June, in response, I believe this was June as of 2013 when this was posted, that in response to a Freedom of Information Act request, not a single Planned Parenthood in the nation has mammography equipment. So in other words, they do not provide breast cancer exams. They don't provide mammograms. So guess who's lying? Also, according to Planned Parenthood's own 2009-2010 annual report, not one mammogram was performed at any Planned Parenthood facility. So women votes, you lied. So Planned Parenthood's whole thing is to get all the money they can. And they don't just get it from the government. The government isn't their only source. Their main source is donations. They get, yes, hundreds of millions of dollars in taxpayer funding. That's just the tip of the iceberg. And it's partly due to their claim that they provide these mammograms. But the investigation has proven it false. Go on liveaction.org and watch videos of all the investigations against Planned Parenthood. Seriously. I mean, I was amazed reading this article. You got to read this. How about the death of Tanya Reeves on July 20th, 2012 from a hemorrhage caused by a perforation of her uterus during a second trimester abortion at a Planned Parenthood clinic in Chicago, Illinois. Another one in Illinois, the same place where Tanya died. They settled a case involving Medicaid billing fraud. Oopsie. There was a webcam abortion pill scam in Iowa that prompted federal legislation as well as new laws banning the dangerous practice in at least 7 states. I've read something about black market abortion pills. Look it up. I've posted the link to this whole article. You can read this. And I want to make sure that you guys know that women votes are lying through their teeth on this. And to know that I'm saying this not just simply because I'm a born-again Christian and I'm a Republican, but I know Pat Toomey has a very good record. I've also sought his help on an unrelated matter, and he and his staff gave me prompt attention. This man stands up for what's right. So my advice to all of you, before you start listening to these lies, go research this for yourself. Listen to this article. Read this article. Read these facts for yourself, these sources, and see what I'm talking about. Ball's in your court, people. Thanks a lot, and have a good one.